Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hillsboro tonight for a KCAC conference matchup between your Tabor College Blue Jays and the St. Mary's Squires. Blue Jays looking for their first win inside of conference. I'm Charles Bill, partner alongside my partner, Tate Reynolds. Tate, what players from each team sticks out to you?
Yeah, we'll start here with Tabor's side of the ball. Tyler Zinn, number 2, he averages nearly 33 points a game, going about 45% from the field and going 33% from three-point land. And for the Spires, Raylan Howard, number 13, averaging 28 points a game, 43% from the field and 33% from beyond the arc.
Tyler Zinn for the Blue Jays has really carried this team all season long. He's done it a number of different ways. He leads the team in rebounding, leads the team in assists, leads the team in steals. So he really just has his hand literally in everything this year for the Blue Jays. So they are going to go as far as he can take them. And really, what are some keys today for the Blue Jays to knock that first conference win?
Well, of course, they got to get the whole team involved. They need to work out getting rebounds, boxing out, everything of that such. You know, they got to put a little bit less stress on Tyler Zinn. As, like you said, he does lead every stat line here for the Blue Jays. So if they can get everything working that way, they should come out with a W.
And we're going to take a break. We're going to have the national anthem followed by the starting lineups. That's going to be announced to you by Rusty Allen here at Tabor College. So we are going to take a short break, and tip-off will be in a few moments.
Good evening, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's KCAC contest between our guests from Leavenworth, the Spires, the University of St. Mary, and your Tabor College Blue Jays. At this time, I'd like to invite everyone to stand as I offer a pregame prayer of blessing for this evening's contest, and then please remain standing as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Let's pray together. Father in heaven, we pause guard, 5'9" from Bristol, Texas, number 1, Jalen Rucker. At guard, 5'10" freshman from Warrensburg, Missouri, number 4, Luke Mackey. At guard, 6'5" senior from Fort Worth, Texas, number 13, Raylan Howard. At guard, 6'3" senior from Golden Valley, Minnesota, number 20, LeVar McCullough. And at forward, 6'6" sophomore from Stanberry, Missouri, number 25, Brad Haley. Now let's welcome the starters for your Tabor College Blue Jays. Starting at forward is 6'7" junior from Hollywood, Florida, number 0, Noah Brown. At guard, 6'1" senior from Olathe, Kansas, number 2, Tyler Zinn. At guard, 6'4" senior from Topeka, Kansas, number 11, Duncan Whitlock. At guard, 6'4" senior from Duke, number 23, Kevin Berry. And at center, 6'7" sophomore from Australia, number 25, Leon Markovic.
And we are back here in Hillsboro, and we're going to give the starting lineups real quick. First, for the visiting Spires, they run a 4-guard lineup. First guard is Jalen Rucker, number 1, averaging 4.9 points a game. Luke Mackey, number 4, at the other guard position, averaging 2.9 points a game. Raylan Howard, their stud senior guard, averaging 15.7 points a game. LeVar McCullough, another senior guard, averaging 7.9 points a game. And their forward, Brad Haley, averaging 6.5 points a game.
And of course, for Tabor College, for the starters, number 0, Noah Brown, the 4th. He's a 6'7" junior. Number 2, Tyler Zinn, 6'1" senior. Of course, he's the stud of the team. Duncan Whitlock, 6' senior, number 11. Tevin Berry, 6'4" guard, senior, number 23. And of course, Leon Markovic is a forward sophomore, number 35.
And right on cue, Markovic blocks a Spires shot as the Spires win the jump ball. Offensive possession, what an offensive rebound by LeVar McCullough, the senior guard from Golden Valley, Minnesota, for St. Mary's. Skies for that offensive rebound. Blue Jays looking to run their motion offense. St. Mary's opens the game in their traditional man-to-man. Blue Jays in their home gray, blue down the side, and a great play and setup started by Noah Brown for the Blue Jays. Markovic scores the basket inside. We're tied here at 2. St. Mary's in their rolled gold uniforms. Good ball movement here by the Spires. Open wing on the left wing, no good. Rebound to St. Mary's, their second offensive rebound of the game so far. Jalen Rucker gives down low to LeVar McCullough, guarded by Noah Brown. A solid Blue Jay defender, good defense there, and gets the rebound.
And like I said at the beginning of the game, you know, they got to work on rebounding. Like you said, there's already been 2 offensive rebounds for St. Mary's. Tabor needs to get that work inside and start getting those boards so they can get down the court.
Absolutely good active hands right there by Brad Haley. Swipes it away from Markovic, who's able to get it back. Tyler Zinn gives it to Tevin Berry. And Tevin Berry really has struggled this year with his shot. Leading scorer for the Blue Jays returning this season, as Noah Brown misses that one. In transition is Raylan Howard. Gives it to Rucker on the left corner. Blue Jays, good defense there in transition. And as you see the Blue Jays, you talk about boxing out, and the Blue Jays need to rebound well. I think the Blue Jays, their on-ball defense also needs to improve if they're wanting to win this game. Good rebound there by Tyler Zinn. Blue Jays looking to take their first lead of the game. Markovic aggressively drives, kicks it out to Zinn. He's going to pull up a 3 from the top of the key. No good. Rebounded by Duncan Whitlock, the senior from Topeka. Markovic, another miss at the rim. St. Mary's fights, and Rucker flies for the rebound out of bounds. Now Whitlock has control, and he hits a 3 from the left corner.
Wow, that's a lot of action there here on the, just early here. Ball's going all over the place, and might be a chair falling over there on Tabor's side.
And you like to see that out of your senior guard, Duncan Whitlock, flying out of bounds, and he actually had possession of the ball, and he asked for a timeout before he went out of bounds and was not granted, so St. Mary's will keep possession. Got it. Blue Jays leading 5-2 thanks for a three-point basket by Duncan Whitlock. St. Mary's looking to run their offense. Howard aggressively driving the lane, a lot of contact. And they are going to call an offensive foul. Another great play by the senior Duncan Whitlock.
Yeah, offensive fouls are one of those calls in basketball, you know, that can either go either way, and it's all about opinion on the ref side. That one just happened to go towards Tabor.
Jalen Rucker picking up Tyler Zinn, full court man. And he's going to steal it away from him. Marcicek able to get the loose ball. Blue Jays maintain possession. The officials are going to blow the whistles and have a come to Jesus meeting, and I think they're going to call a backcourt violation on the Blue Jays. As it stands, it will be a turnover. St. Mary's possession. Officials still talking a half court, but you'd like to see this. The Blue Jays haven't won a game all season in conference, and you like the energy that they have put up, and really Duncan Whitlock has been the catalyst. Hasn't started much this season. He came off the bench. He's a fifth-year senior for the Blue Jays, and you really like to see him giving them the lift offensively and defensively.
Yeah, and he's probably one of the biggest helps to Tyler Zinn. But, of course, Tabor is without Desmond Barnes tonight. He is hurt. He's also a big help to that Tabor offense. But since he's out, you know, some people got to start stepping up here. And Duncan Whitlock should be the one to do that.
Jalen Rucker with the entry pass to Raylan Howard, guarded closely by Whitlock. Howard aggressively goes in the lane, but swatted away by Noah Brown. Blue Jays into the front court is Tyler Zinn. Blue Jays really good defense there. Marcicek in the paint, gets it slapped away. They're going to call a foul. Marcicek will go to the line to shoot two. Marcicek with the first free throw, no good.
Yeah, Marcicek isn't also the best free throw shooter out there, of course, 36% for the season so far.
Misses both, a little bit strong on that one. Skying in again for the rebound is LeVar McCullough. Gives it to Howard, guarded closely by Whitlock. McCullough drives aggressively, loses it momentarily. Spires maintain possession, 13 on the shot clock. Howard against Marcicek, a beautiful floater in the lane. It cuts the Blue Jay lead to 1. Really, Jalen Rucker is going to be guarding Zinn all night long. He's a pest on the defensive side of as the Spires bat that ball to bounds. Blue Jays maintain possession under their own basket.
And, you know, when you got a player averaging 33 points a game, you got to put your best defensive defender out there, whether it's, you know, a zone and one, of course, on him. But you got to lock Tyler Zinn up somehow, and putting one on him is probably the best way to do it, of course.
Air ball right there by Noah Brown from the left wing. Spires in transition. This is Luke Mackey. He's going to pull up from the left wing a little bit strong. Blue Jays get the rebound. Tyler Zinn, he's going to pull up from the left wing, and he's going to hit it over Brad Haley. He had the mismatch that he wanted, and he pulled up from about 27 feet out. The Blue Jays have an 8-4 lead.
Yeah, you can't do that on defense if you're the Spires, at least, mismatching up with Zinn, because he will pull it anywhere if he has the feeling that he's going to make it.
Spires looking to run their three-man weave offense. Howard gives it to McCullough. He got 3 on the shot clock, and Rucker's going to fire up a 12-footer, and he's going to drain it. 8-6 is our score. The Blue Jays on top with 15:06 left to go in our first half.
Yeah, all of St. Mary's points have been inside the paint. They drive in, put floaters up. You know, they just got to get better defense. The Blue Jays have to get better defense inside, stopping them, and, you know, from pulling up out there.
A steal by Luke Mackey. He's going to try to go coast to coast. Looked like he traveled under the basket. No call. It's going to give to Rucker, who's not going to be able to hit the 3, but they're going to call an offensive loose ball foul on LeVar McCullough as he skied to attempt to grab the rebound.
Checking into the game for St. Mary's, number 3, Christian Carmichael. And the other sub is number 2, Cameron Southern.
Checking in for the Blue Jays is Elias Worth, a Hillsboro native, as Tyler Zinn misses it, gets his own rebound. Ball batted around and finally corralled underneath the basket, and it's going to be called mutual possession. Blue Jays will maintain possession with 14 on the shot clock. Also checking in for the Blue Jays is Devin Rust. Rust is the Blue Jays' second leading rebounder behind Tyler Zinn on the season. Has 50 total rebounds. Tevin Berry thought about a 3 from the left corner. Aggressively drives, good active hands on defense. Luke Mackey gets his second steal of the game. Howard in transition. Oh, he glided to the rim and laid it in.
Yeah, what an athletic play down there on the fast break. Getting easy 2 on fast break points.
Scores tied at 8 with just about 14 minutes left to go in our first half. Elias Worth aggressively drives, kicks it to Tevin Berry. St. Mary's playing an aggressive man-to-man defense so far in the first half. Tevin Berry, open 3 from the left wing, no good. That was a good pass by Elias Worth, but St. Mary's gets the rebound, and Luke Mackey into the front court.
5 guard, no shit.
Coach Troy Brown of the Spires calling out an offensive play for his team.
Knockdown.
Luke Mackey gives it to Cameron Southern, a little bit strong, rebounded by Tevin Berry. Blue Jays have, after the 2 early offensive rebounds that they gave up, they've done a solid job on the defensive glass in the last few minutes.
Yeah, they've really got their stuff together when it came to rebounding early. Of course, those 2 in the beginning, and they got 2 easy points off of them as well. Of course, the rebounding side on Tabor has been the best all year, and it's something if they want to start getting some wins on the board, they got to start getting better at, of course.
A really solid job on the offensive side there. Noah Brown got a mismatch in the post. He had the 5'10" guard Luke Mackey guarding him, and he was able to get the ball as Howard shoots that one a little bit strong. Again, another defensive rebound for Noah Brown, his 4th of the night. Tyler Zinn drawing all types of contact on that drive to the rim. He's going to go to the line to shoot 2. He has made a living at the line all season long.
Yeah, going 76% from the free throw from the charity stripe. So, you know, that's helped out a lot. Tabor overall is 59% for the year. Not the best, of course, but Taylor's in 76. First one drops.
Blue Jays with that 59% clip comes in dead last in the Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference. As you see that aggressive drive to the rim right there on the replay. He just does a great job absorbing the contact and seeking out that contact as he goes to the rim. Able to hit the second. Blue Jays take a 4-point lead, 12-8, 12:38 to go in our first half.
We've seen a lot of aggressive basketball here early. I mean, both teams are moving up the court quick, driving the ball. Of course, you've seen 1 3 from Tyler Zinn so far, but other than that, all the points have come from inside.
Number 15, Dallas Taylor, has checked in for the Spires, along with Jesse Moss. Going deep to the bench early on is Coach Troy Brown. Moss aggressively drives the rim, no good. A foul's going to be called underneath against St. Mary's.
As that's the 3rd offensive foul for St. Mary's, isn't it?
And they've been really aggressive hitting that glass, and they've been called with 5 fouls so far in the first half. Blue Jays haven't been whistled for any. Blue Jays setting up their motion offense. Oh, what a great setup that was by the Blue Jays on offense. Tevin Berry able to find a wide open Devin Rust. Troy Brown in company for St. Mary's calls the timeout. 30 seconds will stay right here. And on that offensive set, what really made that work for the Blue Jays?
Well, every post loves a guard that can shoot the ball in quick, get them the ball so they can get easy points. He happened to do that just to a freshman, actually, Devin Rust. He's scoring 20 points a game for them, averaging on that replay. Just excellent. Every post loves that. And, you know, good guards that can do that, get the ball in quick, that helps a lot as well.
And we're 8 minutes into the game so far. Blue Jays up 6. What have they done well, and what will they need to continue to do well to win this game?
Well, of course, they've got the fouls over on St. Mary's side. St. Mary's has those 3 offensive fouls, which is helping a lot, of course, to Tabor. But, you know, Tabor is finally starting to get the rebound portion of the game getting going here early for the game. A lot of people are getting on the stat line of scores, you know. Everybody's kind of getting in the game, and they're all working together so far really well.
Jesse Moss misses a 3 from the left wing. Rebounded by Devin Russ, gives way to the senior, Duncan Whitlock. Blue Jays running really efficient offense so far in the first half, and Luis Baez did a great job getting position on his man, and a good entry pass by Elias Worth gives Blue Jays 2 more points and extends their lead to 6.
And St. Mary's just missed the backside. The backside's help, of course, because that's always tough.
And I beg your pardon, the lead is to 8, and a foul is going to be called on Luis Baez. Going to the line to shoot 2 will be Jesse Moss. Moss on the season, a 77% free throw shooter. Moss able to sink both, cuts the lead to 6, 16-10, with 11:15 to go here in the first half. Duncan Whitlock aggressively pushes into the front court. Blue Jays look to set up their offense. And the Blue Jays, without a traditional point guard on the court, Tyler Zinn has been the guy all season long. And as you mentioned, Desmond Barnes is out with an ankle injury in this game, so the Blue Jays are without their backup point guard. Kevin Berry with 3 on the shot clock, and there might be a shot clock violation as Duncan Whitlock picked up the loose ball and out of desperation heaved it at the rim, did not draw iron, so the Spires will take over on a turnover.
Yeah, I think every head coach, no matter what team, loves great defense, because even I'm a believer in defense wins championships, and good defense is awfully fun to watch to me, and the Spires did a great job defense here on that last possession.
Howard guarded closely again by Whitlock. Good active hand, swipes it away like a thief in the night. Duncan Whitlock playing very well here in the early going for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, the Tabor's post are really... Duncan Whitlock, for example, over here getting the turnover. They're starting to get more aggressive down there on the defense side.
Ball tipped out of bounds. Blue Jays maintain possession. A couple of substitutions coming back in is Tyler Zinn and Leon Marsikic. And also checking back in for St. Mary's is LeVar McCullough. They're a leading rebounder on the season. Dangerous entry pass, foul drawn by Duncan Whitlock. They're going to tack that foul on Jesse Moss, the sophomore guard from Topeka. 2 Topeka natives right there matched up, as Duncan Whitlock is also from Topeka.
I mean, you really got to give St. Mary's credit with their man-to-man defense, even on the inbound pass, and what a look. But you got to give St. Mary's some credit on their man-to-man defense. I mean, they are locking up whether the ball is being taken out of bounds or on offensive possessions.
And as you mentioned, it was a great look right there by Tyler Zinn, is the Blue Jays leader in assists. Coming into the game, had 72 on the season. St. Mary's running their offense. Cameron Southern aggressively driving it to the rim, and he's going to be called with, Elias Worth will be called with the foul, and Southern will go to the line to shoot 2.
And some people don't like the aggressive basketball. Some people like it the more passive. But as you can tell early on here, St. Mary's being super aggressive with the ball, getting those and one opportunities.
Southern on the season, a 59% free throw shooter. Misses that one. Zen corrals the rebound. St. Mary's still in their traditional man-to-man. And the Blue Jays offense really changes when Zen's on the court, because you really want the ball in his hand as much as possible, as a three-pointer is missed by Leon Marski. The Spires push in transition. Christian Carmichael misses that 3. Ball is rebounded by Baez.
And like you said, the offense completely changes when Zinn's out there. I think Zinn's one of those players that the offense almost has to be built around that type of guy.
Yep.
And especially now that Desmond Barnes is out, I mean, he was a big point guard in there. But you know, you got to build around Tyler Zinn here, especially when you're losing some people as well.
You talk about building the offense around him as a charge was taken by the Spires. Foul charge against Alliance Worth, but you talk about building an offense around a player. It kind of resembles a little bit like Luka Doncic in the NBA. If you watch that, the offense molds the player because Tyler Zinn is that good at this level.
Yeah, exactly. When you have a player that's as good as Tyler Zinn, or as you said, Luka Doncic for the Dallas Mavericks, I mean, you have to be able to build around that player, and Tyler Zinn's just that top player for Tabor that can do that as he goes up, gets an easy, fast break, score down here.
Good presence of mind by Tevin Berry to steal the ball and throw it full court to Tyler Zinn, who really had a wide open layup, as you said, on a run out. Blue Jays take a 6-point lead again. Good active hands by Marsa kick there. And Jesse Moss fires a three top the key, no good, and another strong defensive rebound by the Blue Jays. Duncan Whitlock feeds Tyler Zinn. Oh, what a good pass.
Wow, what a look. Tyler Zinn just kind of has that swagger to him when he plays basketball as well. Just like that good-looking assist right there just makes it even better.
Good active hands again by Tevin Berry. He's going to take that ball, and he's going to take it to the front court. Wisely slows down as he did not have numbers. And the Blue Jays matching their largest lead of the night with 8-20-12. Oh, another good pass by Tyler Zinn to Luis Baez. Baez scores his 6th point of the night.
St. Mary's really having some trouble on the backside help. I mean, they've done that 2 or 3 times tonight.
And the Spires are at the next dead ball will have wholesale substitutions coming in. Blue Jays with their largest lead of the night at 10. And you can see the confidence right now in the Blue Jays playing defense as a foul is going to be called on Tevin Berry on the floor. It's the Blue Jays' 4th team foul. St. Mary's essentially has their starting lineup back on the court. And Coach Micah Ratcliffe and the Blue Jays are going to take a timeout, and we are going to take a timeout here with them. Be back in 1:30.
Think about how good it feels when people really get you. Like the friends who come over when a big game is on, the neighbors next door who always bring your favorite buffalo dip, your in-laws who know you need silence during the clutch plays, and everyone who knows about your special post-win fist bump. It's kind of like having a State Farm agent like Paul Brooks. Paul is here to get to know you and understand your life, so he can help make it easy for you to protect what's important. Get an agent that gets you and your fist bumps. Call State Farm agent Paul Brooks in Wichita at 316-721-8181.
We're back here in Hillsboro, 7:20 left to go in the first half, and the Blue Jays leading by 10, searching for their first win inside a conference. St. Mary's with the ball, and another good defensive possession by the Blue Jays results in the 7th turnover of the night for the Spires.
Tabor really got their defense going here in the first half. Of course, started off a little slow, but finally started getting it going here in the later part of the half.
And you have to be impressed by the ball movement of the Blue Jays. They've really passed the ball well, and to that point, a turnover there by the Blue Jays. Luke Mackey with his 3rd steal of the first half. And the ball was deflected out of bounds. The officials say it was off St. Mary's. All 5 players protesting that for the Spires, but nonetheless, Blue Jays have possession.
Well, I think no matter how much they protested, I don't think the refs are going to change their mind too much.
Blue Jays leading by 10, looking to run their offense. Been very efficient in the early goings. Tyler Zinn with a 17-foot jump shot, no good. Rebounded by Noah Brown on the offensive glass. Can't make the layup. St. Mary's rebounds, and in the front court is Jalen Rucker. McCullough underneath. It looked like he traveled. I think they're going to call, yep, and they are going to call a travel.
Yeah, he went up for the jump stop and didn't quite let go of the ball before he didn't shoot the ball before he landed.
Duncan Whitlock running the point for the Blue Jays, guarded by Luke Mackey. And the ball's going to be stolen by Mackey, his 4th steal. He's going to give it to McCullough in transition, who lays it in easily. Cuts the lead to 8.
Yeah, Barry didn't know he was going to get the ball there. The ball hit him, and he realized it. By that time, there was a turnover on the Blue Jays.
Couple of sloppy possessions for the Blue Jays after they saw their lead 12-10. Tyler Zinn guarded closely by Jalen Rucker. Rucker, a junior guard from Frisco, Texas, and Zinn fires the 3 from the top of the key and hits.
Yeah, you can't. Tyler Zinn's very good at getting separation, and that's one example of it. Pulling up from anywhere, you know, if he's confident with it, he's going to shoot it.
His point total grows to 10 in the first half. Blue Jays with their largest lead of the night with 11. McCullough from the right wing, no good. Rebounded by Zinn. And the Blue Jays looking to push in transition. Zinn gets it tapped away, regains it. Guarded by Mackey. He's going to kick it out to Tevin Berry. The Blue Jays have run the motion offense. I don't think it's looked as good as it has in the first half of this game all year long. Spires have really struggled. Blue Jays have played really solid defense in the first half. Mackey in the corner. Got 12 on the shot clock, pulls it out. Wants a high ball screen from McCullough. 3 on the shot clock, gives it to the corner. And an air ball, and they're going to call a shot clock violation. I don't think it would have mattered. Zinn had the ball either way. Substitution coming in is Christian Carmichael for the Spires, and Elias Worth is going to check back in for the Blue Jays.
Like you said, the Blue Jays have been playing excellent defense. You haven't seen very many 3-point attempts by St. Mary's because they're playing out tight beyond the arc.
And St. Mary's is going to call a full timeout. We're going to stay here. Blue Jays leading at 25-14 in Tate. Blue Jays really playing inspired basketball, looking for their first win inside of conference. You know, you started to talk about the key points before the game. Rebounding was one of them, and they have really made an emphasis to box out on the defensive end.
Yeah, offense and defense. They've been really getting the ball off the rebounds, boxing out. You know, being able to get those rebounds, because rebounds can change a game. It all depends on who has the ball longer and who can score the points while they have the ball, of course, as well.
And the Blue Jays have really passed the ball well. You can talk about the number of entry passes into Luis Baez, especially. Tyler Zinn had a couple, and of course Tyler Zinn has great court awareness at all times. But also Elias Worth has had a couple of good passes. And again, Duncan Whitlock has provided a spark that was much needed for the Blue Jays.
And of course, when you have posts like Duncan Whitlock and of course the 6-man Devin Rust that can be able to get behind their defender and have the guards that can oop it over the defender, you know, and get those backside passes and get those easy points, that helps out.
And the Blue Jays do have 7 turnovers so far in the first half, and that has been a storyline all season long. They have 246 turnovers on the season to just 195 assists. You don't like to see that assist-to-turnover ratio below 1, and the Blue Jays have done pretty on cue. They turn the ball over as Howard aggressively in the front court. He's going to take it all the way, loses control, going to go back up, a lot of contact, no foul call. He's going to lay it up and in for 2.
Yeah, I think St. Mary's is just trying to get the ball up as quick as possible because they know if they get down there and settle in, Tabor's going to play excellent defense like they have all half.
Yeah, that half-court defense for Tabor has been really solid. Tyler Zinn got a mismatch, turns the big guy for St. Mary's around, and Noah Brown had the offensive rebound momentarily, but the ball was stripped away by Carmichael. And St. Mary's, oh, what a good pass by Rucker. And a foul is going to be called on the Blue Jays as Brad Haley missed the bunny, but got bailed out with the foul call. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, like I said, the Spires are playing aggressive basketball, doing those fast breaks so they don't have to play the half court.
And the replay right there brought to you by Sherry Fleming, center of the arts. Not a lot of contact was called, but Haley was benefited with the call. Makes the first free throw. Montel Stewart's checking in for the first time for the Blue Jays. Haley is a 66% foul shooter on the season. Hit the first one and sinks the second. Cuts the lead to 7. Blue Jays leading 25-18 with 3:35 left to go in the first half. Tyler Zinn kicked it to Stewart, and it's going to be a turnover. And Zinn is saying that he got smacked, which caused the ball to go out of bounds. Nonetheless, another turnover by the Blue Jays. They have 9 so far in the first half.
Yeah, turnovers are a big part of basketball. You get turnovers, you're giving the ball to the other team, of course. And, you know, the longer that other team has the ball, the more opportunities they have to score.
Luke Mackey, good defense right there by Stewart, who just come off the bench. And Haley was looking for a cutting Howard underneath. Ball's going to be thrown out of bounds, and that's going to be their 9th turnover of the first half, both teams. Turning it over a good bit. Blue Jays have possession. Fouls have evened out here in the first half. At one point, it was 5-0. St. Mary's were called with 5 straight fouls to open the game. Now it's 5 fouls against Tabor, 6 against St. Mary's. Duncan Whitlock drives baseline. He's going to be bumped, and it's called a foul. He's going to go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1.
Foul number 1, Taylor Rucker, this second, team 7. Duncan Whitlock, line shooting 1-1.
Duncan Whitlock only a 28% free throw shooter for the year.
Misses that one, and Noah Brown grabs the rebound. St. Mary's did not know that it was a 1-and-1 and did not box out Noah Brown, and fortunate that the Blue Jays didn't score for that. Carmichael turns the ball over, stolen by Stewart, who turns the ball back over. A wild sequence here. As the Spires maintain possession. Rucker gets a screen from Haley, drives all the way to the dish, gives it down to Carmichael. Good pump fake, and good sequence right here by the Spires until they turn the ball over. Beg your pardon, it was tipped out of bounds by the Blue Jays.
Yeah, Tabor's not letting them shoot any threes at all beyond the arc. They're closing out on them quick, so they have to force it inside, and forcing it inside's been helping out Tabor a lot. Getting some turnovers for Tabor.
Mackey guarded by Stewart, drives in the lane, dishes it out to Howard, who's guarded closely by Whitlock, pulls up 18 feet out, drains it. Cuts the lead to 5, 25-20, just over 2 minutes to go in the first half. Blue Jays leading. In need of a good offensive possession right here. And Tyler Zinn pulls up top of the key, no good, rebounded by Carmichael. Rucker quickly drives past Worth and easily lays it in. And a couple of sloppy defensive possessions by the Blue Jays, and St. Mary's is within 1 possession. Blue Jays up 3.
And Tabor's really gotten a little slow on the fast breaks. I don't know if they're tired, but you know, they got to get down the court quick because you know that St. Mary's team is going to try to get the ball down quicker than them.
Tyler's in. Oh, it was a good thought right there. Noah Brown was not on the same page, and another turnover by the Blue Jays. That is their 11th. St. Mary's looking to cut into that lead or tie on this possession.
I'd like to mention Tyler Zinn is their leading guy when it comes to turnovers as well, leading by actual 35 turnovers to the next guy. But, you know, when you have that ball that much, that's going to happen, of course.
Yeah, no, he controls the ball a lot, so he's going to have a lot of assists, but also a lot of turnovers. And as you pointed out, leads the league by a substantial margin as Duncan Whitlock took the charge on the last defensive possession for the Blue Jays. LeVar McCullough checking back in for the Spires. Full court man-to-man. Finally gets the ball into the hands of Tyler Zinn. Blue Jays looking to run their motion offense. They've gone away from that offense the last few possessions, gone a little one-on-one and have turned the ball over a lot. Another turnover here by the Blue Jays. Jalen Rucker has numbers. He's going to give it up air to McCullough, who slams it down. A good setup right there by Rucker. And McCullough with a very athletic play to throw it in to cut the lead to 1, 25-24, and another turnover by the Blue Jays. Blue Jays leading by 1, 25-24. They have led by as many as 12. Shot clock is off. Spires will hold for the last shot. Rucker drives in the lane, 14-foot jump shot, hits nothing but nylon. And the Spires take the lead going into halftime. 26-25. We are going to take a short break here. We'll come back in a few moments with a little bit of analysis of the first half and some statistics. And we're going to take a short break.
Sooner or later, you might need some extra storage space. When that day comes, Fleming's Mini Store-All is ready and waiting. Fleming's Mini Store-All has 5 locations and has been serving the Hillsborough and Marion area since 1990. They've got a variety of storage size options and can even handle boats and RVs. To learn more, just visit FlemingsMiniStoreAll.com or give them a call at 620-382-5550. Fleming's Mini Store-All, the solution for your storage problems.
Create an estate plan that values what you value. The Biblical Estate Design Service from MB Foundation is a will planning service that brings your faith into the process of preparing a God-honoring estate plan. Many donors of Tabor College have used this service to create their plan and have chosen to leave a gift to the college, a gift that will have a lasting impact on future generations of Tabor students. Learn more at mbfoundation.com/Tabor and get started on your plan today.
MB Foundation, giving meaning to money.
Think about how good it feels when people really get you. Like the friends who come over when a big game is on, the neighbors next door who always bring your favorite buffalo dip, your in-laws who know you need silence during the clutch plays, and everyone who knows about your special post-win fist bump. It's kind of like having a State Farm agent like Paul Brooks. Paul is here to get to know you and understand your life, so he can help make it easy for you to protect what's important. Get an agent that gets you and your fist bumps. Call State Farm agent Paul Brooks in Wichita at 316-721-8181.
Sooner or later, you might need some extra storage space. When that day comes, Fleming's Mini Store All is ready and waiting. Fleming's Mini Store All has 5 locations and has been serving the Hillsborough and Marion area since 1990. They've got a variety of storage size options and can even handle boats and RVs. To learn more, just visit FlemingsMiniStoreAll.com or give them a call at 620-382-5550. Fleming's Mini Store All, the solution for your storage problems.
And we are back here at halftime. The Blue Jays trailing the St. Mary's Spires 26-25. A couple of statistics to point out. The leading scorer for the Spires was Raylan Howard. He is their leading scorer on the season. He had 8 points in the first half. And for the Blue Jays, none other than Tyler Zinn. He came in at 10 points, but he scored 10 points in the first 12 minutes, so he was held in check the final 8 minutes of the first half. A couple of team stats. The Blue Jays had 15 turnovers in the first half. That's a lot of turnovers for one game, needless to say, one half. St. Mary's coming in with 10. St. Mary's did not hit a 3. They were 0 from 11 from distance. However, from the field, they were shooting above 40%, and they shot 41% from the field in the first half. Blue Jays shot 41% from the field also in the first half, 3 of 9 from distance. And Tate, what is a couple of key points? What did you see overall in the first half?
Well, in the first half, of course, like you said, if they had 15 turnovers in the first half, that's a lot for a full game compared to St. Mary's 10. So, they got to slow down the offense, start to work it inside. They were doing that early on. They were getting the ball to the post. They were scoring easy points. They started to get sloppy later on in the first half. They started forcing them inside. That comes turnovers, and the offensive rebounds, they got to start connecting on the going up at the offensive rebounds. They get their offensive rebound and they just can't quite finish it. And if they can start finishing that, the score could be a lot different, of course.
And the point that you made before the game, rebounding a huge deal for the Blue Jays. They're out rebounding St. Mary's by 2, 14-12. And as you mentioned, those bunnies, they've had 4 open looks off of offensive rebounds in the first half that they've just missed layups. So they've left a lot of points out there on the court. And they're only trailing by 1. They led for most of the first half.
And I wish I could really see how many points they actually did score off the offensive boards, because for offensive boards, Tabor has 7 compared to St. Mary's 3. And there's probably maybe 4 points off those offensive rebounds. That's 14 easy points that they could have gotten that maybe they don't have.
And the Blue Jays, of course, looking for their first win inside a conference. And St. Mary's looking to advance their record to 9-7 and get their 5th win inside a conference. 6 minutes until halftime starts, and we'll be back right before second half starts. And we are back here in Hillsboro to start the second half. The Blue Jays trailing by 1 point, 26-25 to the St. Mary University Spires. And so Blue Jays really played good for most of the first half, got the lead, saw it evaporate. What do they have to do here in the second half to take the lead back and to win eventually?
Well, they got to get their offense going. It started to go pretty good in the first half of the first half. You know, the first 10 minutes. Excuse me. But they got to start getting that going again, because that was what was giving them the momentum to start scoring. And you know, St. Mary's, of course, at the end of the half went on that quick run to take the lead right at the end of the half. So, you know, Tabor's offense and the turnover margin, you got to turn down the turnovers, of course, too.
Blue Jays caused a turnover on their first defensive possession of the second half, and they give it right back. St. Mary's in transition. Rucker, he's going to pull the ball back out, run the offense for St. Mary's. Blue Jays in their traditional man-to-man to start the second half. St. Mary's has yet to hit a three-pointer. And Howard, a good defensive play again by Duncan Whitlock. Slaps the ball out of his hands. Tyler Zinn controls for the Blue Jays. Whitlock hit a three in the first half. Blue Jays as a team hit three. Tyler Zinn aggressively driving to the 10. No good. Rebound volleyed around, controlled by St. Mary's. Luke Mackey into the front court for the Spires. Drives. Picks up his dribble in the lane. And Noah Brown, who has 3 blocks on the defensive end in this game, out there for the Blue Jays. 7 on the shot clock. St. Mary's almost turned the ball over again. Rucker, fadeaway jumper from the baseline, no good. Rebounded by Marsikic.
If I could know how many points St. Mary's has scored off fast breaks compared to getting their offense slowed down in actual running plays, I think St. Mary's has scored the majority of their plays off fast break, because they can't set their offense up with Tabor's defense, their man-to-man defense. I mean, it's been locked down practically the entire game so far.
It's a good point there in transition. St. Mary's likes to get out there and run, and they've really been stagnant running their half-court offense. Good active hands there by Zinn. Tevin Berry on the ground after it. Mackey eventually controls it, gives it to Howard on the right wing, and he's able to drain the three-pointer, the first of the game for St. Mary's.
Yeah, going for 0 for 11 in the first half. St. Mary's finally gets their first 3 on the board.
Blue Jays looking for their first points of the second half. Tyler Zinn, he's going to kick it to Whitlock, wide open right corner 3. He hits his second of the game and his 6th point. Cuts the lead to 129-28. The senior coming up big for the Blue Jays. Wild sequence right there. Marsikic falls to the deck. Haley able to penetrate his way into the lane and lay it in. Extends the Spire lead to 3, 31-28. And again, as you pointed out, the Blue Jays ran their half-court offense really efficiently to start the game. Later on in the first half, though, it got really sloppy to the tune of 15 first-half turnovers. And right on cue, another turnover for the Blue Jays. Their 18th of the game.
And, you know, that exact play that they just did, it was working early, but, you know, St. Mary's adjusted and finally got it going.
And I believe they're going to call a foul. Good pass there by Tyler Zinn. Sets up free throws for Marsikic. And again, as you pointed out earlier in the game, there's much to be desired from his free throw shooting percentage. Coach Micah Ratcliffe of the Blue Jays is lobbying for a goaltend right there. Said the ball was pinned off the backboard after the ball had made contact with the backboard. But to no avail, Marsikic has 2 free throws. Christian Carmichael, the junior from Manhattan, Kansas, checks into the game for the Spires. Montel Stewart, the junior from Palm Bay, Florida, checks in for the Blue Jays. Marks the kick. It's both of them. 31-30, St. Mary's leading here in the second half. An aggressive hedge there from Marsikic. And the Blue Jays at times this season they've gone zone a couple of times, but they really have played solid in the half court. There's no need to switch it up, and a wild shot there by Howard and a shot clock violation.
Yeah, like you said, their half-court offense, their man-to-man is very aggressive, and they're, you know, in the first half, they were 0 for 11 on threes. They were closing out to the three-point line, and they never made one until, of course, the start of the second half. But, yeah, defense by Tabor's been great this whole game.
Elias Worth is in the game for the Blue Jays. Gives it to Marsikic, aggressively takes it to the 10, and the ball is tipped out of bounds. They are going to say Marsikic touched it last. Spires basketball. Luke Mackey's going to be guarded closely by Elias Worth. Oh, aggressive drive by Mackey. He's going to be hit by Marsikic, and Mackey will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. It's the first, extends the lead to 32-30.
Mackey's a 57% free throw shooter from this from the line over the year.
Checking in for the Spires is number 15, Dallas Taylor, checks in for Mackey. Tyler Zinn has been very quiet to start the second half. He scored 10 early points for the Blue Jays. Oh, a good pass there by Marsikic, and they find Noah Brown, a 15-foot jump shot. Cuts the lead to 1, 33-32. Oh, Tyler Zinn, good presence of mind and active hands in transition, drawing the contact. No good, rebounded by Taylor. And he's going to push in transition, and another turnover by St. Mary's on consecutive possessions.
Yeah, I think Tabor just needs to slow the ball down a little bit, as Zinn's doing right now. Just slow it down and, you know, set up the offense.
This game honestly has been really sloppy on the offensive end by both teams. Both teams combining for 36 turnovers, and we still have 14 minutes to go in the second half. And again, another turnover by the Blue Jays. They now have 20 turnovers. And again, some of that can be attributed to Desmond Barnes being hurt, the Blue Jays' backup point guard. And the third consecutive possession that the Spires have turned the ball over. As you see, a solid picture there of Coach Micah Ratzliff and his assistant Lance Carter. Lance, of course, an All-American here at Tabor.
As I know, some of the basketball players actually call him Coach Carter, you know, as the movie, of course.
Ball tapped out of bounds. Blue Jays have possession. Duncan Whitlock checks back into the game for the Blue Jays.
I think free throws for St. Mary's have been a huge part of this game. They're 4 for 5, and of course they've been aggressive, driving the ball in quick, having that slashing type of offense. And
Howard in transition, a lot of contact, and he's going to make the layup and hit the basket, and he'll go to the line for a traditional three-point play. And as you pointed out a little bit earlier, in transition, is where St. Mary's excels, and they score again in transition. And Howard able to hit and complete the three-point play the old-fashioned way. Extends the Spire's lead to the largest of the afternoon, and that is 4, 36-32. Ball's going to be tipped out of bounds. Blue Jays will have and maintain possession. Luis Baez, who had a solid first half, checks in for the first time in the second half. He scored 6 points.
You know, I can't help but mention that Tabor's finally starting to kind of slow down the offense. Of course, the turnovers are still up there a little too much, and there's nothing you could do about it. But, you know, Tabor's starting to slow down the offense and get the boards and finally putting up the offensive rebounds such as there for Montel Stewart.
Dallas Taylor guarded closely by Stewart, and he's going to turn the ball over. It's tipped out of bounds, but they'll keep possession. And you can hear not only the bench getting into it, but the crowd here in Hillsboro, they applaud the effort on the defensive side for the Blue Jays.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I think Tabor wants their first KCAC win, and I'm hoping they get it for sure tonight.
They've been close on a number of different occasions, and another, ball was deflected out of bounds on Stewart, the official says, but Blue Jays have been close to getting their first conference win on several different occasions, the latest being Sterling in this building, losing by 1 possession. You can really hear the crowd getting into it here in Hillsboro. Taylor drives aggressively to the rim, falls down, and gets his own rebound, and he's going to draw into a crowd, and he's going to turn the ball over.
Wow. Yeah, I've never seen the atmosphere here like this, at least this year. I mean, the whole crowd's into it right now.
And you can see Taylor getting his own offensive rebound there, and the Blue Jays just surrounding him and forcing the travel violation. Blue Jays looking for points. A backdoor cut by Stewart.
Wow. What a look by Elias Worth to get it into Montel Stewart on the backside cut. And that's one thing that's going to help is the assists. You know, they have to have those guards that can get it in quick.
Montel Stewart has played really solid defense since he's checked in the second half. And Howard, he gets his shot swatted away by Luis Baez. Absolutely erased that shot. Blue Jays looking for their first lead of the second half, tied at 36.
Tabor finally got the momentum they wanted, and it's exactly what they needed.
And Luis Baez will go to the line to shoot 2. Again, another solid pass by the Blue Jays. This time, Montel Stewart setting it up, and Luis Baez on the receiving end will go to the line to shoot 2.
It's going to be Baez's first free throws of the game.
Baez, a 66% free throw shooter. You would not expect it on that one. Absolutely drained it. Montel Stewart comes out of the game, gets a standing O from his bench. Really gave solid minutes here in the second half. Ooh, in and out by Baez. Blue Jays do have the lead, though, 37-36. Elias Worth, he gets on the floor. Good effort there, but Mackey able to maintain possession. Howard aggressively drives the lane, got away with a traveling violation. Jesse Moss, who's just checked into the game, and this defense right now is just on a different level for the Blue Jays. Oh, what a solid drive there, as I say that, by Cameron Southern, the sophomore from Lenexa, Kansas. Absolutely silence this crowd. And Tyler Zinn, drawing another foul, would go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Yeah, basketball is one of those sports that the momentum can change so quickly, and one person can get the momentum and start scoring. And, you know, each team, once they get the momentum, it's very hard to stop a team that's going and keeps scoring like that, playing good defense. It's hard to stop that type of a team.
And Cameron Southern absolutely took that to the 10 really smoothly and just got up there. And was not contested by the Blue Jays because they were not expecting him. He hasn't scored at all this game. He came in and he drove aggressively. The Blue Jays weren't expecting that. A good play there by the Spires. Blue Jays retake the lead, 39-38, with 11-12 to go here in the second half. And the Blue Jays have extended their man-to-man pressure full court. Moss, he's going to fire a left wing three. He's going to connect for his first points of the ball game. And the Spires take a 2-point lead, 41-39. Zen aggressively drives to the basket. Noah Brown, he's going to draw a foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot two, the third consecutive possession that the Blue Jays will go to the free throw line.
Noah Brown to the line, shooting 2 shots.
Unable to hit the first one is Brown.
Brown's a 55% free throw shooter for the year.
And again, we're going to like to thank the guys in the control room. Mike Jamison leading the way over there. They bring you all the different angles that you see tonight, all the replays as Brown misses the second free throw. Well, they do a really solid job. And, of course, David Ediger leads that all up to bring one of the best broadcasts in the NAIA. Howard able to go all the way to the basket, uncontested at the end, and 43-39 is a score. Spires lead it by 4. It was a really sloppy possession until Howard aggressively drove it to the 10.
Yeah, I think the Spires finally got momentum back from Tabor, and they're starting to use it against them. Obviously, here up by 4 now.
Blue Jays need another solid possession here on defense. And Carmichael is going to leave that one short. That's not the shot that the Spires wanted. They're really early in the shot clock and not in rhythm of the offense. Fortunate there by the Blue Jays. Oh, good defensive hands right there by Carmichael. Gives in the hands of Mackey. The Spires will look to set up their offense as Coach Troy Brown barking out the play call.
Tabor was getting that under the basket oop all the first half, most of it. St. Mary's finally decided to start defending it, and it's been working all second half for them at least. They can't. St. Mary's been locking it up.
Blue Jays get the rebound. Tyler Zen has a mismatch with Mackey Gardner. A good pass to Duncan Whitlock underneath the basket. It's going to score his 8th points of the night. And it's all, of course, set up by Tyler Zen. And again, driving to the basket was Cameron Southern. Got to the rim easily that time, but missed the layup. Blue Jays going to set up their offense. Zen calls to the screen, and oh, look at that pass to Luis Baez.
Yeah, Tyler Zen's their leading assist guy for a reason, and that shows why.
Score tied at 43. 8:38 to go here in the second half. And Moss going to force that one up in the right wing. No good. And at 8:30, score tied at 43. A number of different substitutions coming in. Jalen Rucker, one of them, and he's really done a solid job all night guarding Zen. And Zen, he's had a lot of work this season on his lungs because he's played major minutes. And Rucker, coming fresh off the bench, is going to guard him full court. And Rucker going to, as Zen draws the foul on Rucker.
It's going to be St. Mary's 5th foul compared to Tabor's 2.
Good defense there by McCullough. And, of course, he has great athletic ability, and he sends that one in with authority. Good defensive play there by the Spires.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that rim did to him, but it's still shaking.
Tevin Berry aggressively goes to the rim, and a foul's going to be drawn on Brad Haley, and that will send Berry to the line.
Berry, not the best free throw shooter, 48%.
Which is interesting because he's one of the better shooting three-point shooters on this team. Last year, he shot the three-point ball at a 39% clip. And this is the first one.
Hey, let's go 4. Let's go 4 down here.
Yeah, I think the free throw shot's all mental. And, you know, it's all repetition.
Misses the second. McCullough skies for the rebound. Spires have a 2-point lead, 45-43. Mackey, double teamed by the Blue Jays, gets out of it. Devin Russ just checked in for the Blue Jays. He's going to draw the foul.
His first team's third Spire basketball.
It's going to be only his first foul.
St. Mary's looks to set up their offense with 17 on the shot clock. Good defense by Russ in the post on Haley. Howard's gonna have to force up a shot, no good. McCullough, the only one in the vicinity for the rebound, lays it up and in with the left hand.
Tabor's gotta start getting the boards going again.
Let's go!
Leads back up to 4, 47-43. Tyler Zinn guarded closely by Rucker. Rucker's done a good job guarding him all game long.
Good job. Talk to him.
10 on the shot clock. Zinn finds Russ in the post, draws a lot of contact, no foul call, rebounded by Haley. Outlet to McCullough. Oh, a good find there by McCullough. He found a cutting Haley, and the largest lead of the game for the Spires is 6, 49-43.
Tabor needs to gain the momentum back they had a couple minutes ago. Mismatch underneath.
Why are we switching?
Russ is going to be at the line. 4-2, Devin Rust is a 63% shooter. First one in. Checking in for the Blue Jays, 22, Elias Worth. Rust's second free throw on its way. Too hard, no good. Rebound to McCullough. McCullough is going to bring it up himself. Off to Howard, now back over to Mackey, back to Howard. Looks inside for McCullough. He's going to take it up and he's going to put it in. That's going to extend the lead to 7 for St. Mary's. 5:48 left on the clock. Elias Worth bringing it up, off to Berry. Berry up top, back to Worth. Worth is going to get a screen, drive it in, kick it out, and another turnover for Tabor. As this is going to be McCullough bringing it up, loses it, but now gets it off to Mackey. Excuse me, Rucker. Rucker's going to set up the offense. Over the top pass is going to be taken up, missed, tip, no good. And Elias Worth comes out with it.
Blue Jays really fortunate there that McCullough missed the bunny underneath.
Timeout's going to be taken by Tabor. We're going to take a 30-second break, and we'll be back right after this.
Create an estate plan that values what you value. The Biblical Estate Design Service from MB Foundation is a will planning service that brings your faith into the process of preparing a God-honoring estate plan. Many donors of Tabor College have used this service to create their plan and have chosen to leave a gift to the college, a gift that will have a lasting impact on future generations of Tabor students. Learn more at mbfoundation.com/Tabor and get started on your plan today.
MB Foundation, giving meaning to money.
St. Mary's biggest lead here. 5:06 left in the second half. St. Mary with a lead, 51-44. This is Zinn driving in, kick to the corner. Worth back to Zinn. Zinn's gonna take up a corner three, too hard, no good. And almost the offensive rebound by Worth. It's gonna be a jump ball, and it's gonna be possession to Tabor.
Tabor really needs points in the worst way here, trailing by their largest margin of the game. If they want to come back in this game and get their first victory inside of conference, it's going to need to start pretty soon.
And I think if maybe Tabor gets aggressive, I mean, they're in bonus. If they get aggressive, start causing some fouls, maybe they can get to the free throw line and convert. If they can begin doing that, getting some easy points there as well. So this is Stewart. Stewart's going to drive in, take it up, gets blocked. But of course, the rebound by Baez, and a three at the shot clock buzzer, as that's going to bring the lead to only 4 for St. Mary's.
What a huge shot that was by the Hillsboro native Russ. The Blue Jays almost forcing a turnover.
Look inside to Mackey. Mackey's going to pump fake, take it up, and 2 for Mackey.
Spires really fortunate there to get 2 points out of that. Was a near turnover, number different of times.
Zinn, good look into Baez. Baez going to take it up, and he's going to get fouled. He's going to go to the line. That is now 8 fouls for St. Mary's. The foul is going to be on LeVar McCullough. That is only going to be his second personal.
You know, going back to the last offensive possession for the Blue Jays when Elias Worth hit that three. As you see, McCullough sneaking over there, was moving. But Elias Worth, sometimes with the shot clock running down, you shoot the ball with more confidence because you don't want to give up a shot clock violation, as you see the replay. Oh, just kidding. But you shoot the ball with a little bit more confidence, and Elias Worth with a huge shot for the Blue Jays.
Second one in for Baez. As full court press here from the Blue Jays. Montel Stewart on the defense. This is going to be Jalen Rucker bringing it up for the Spires. Rucker and a turnover. Pass goes into the stands, as that's going to be Tabor Blue Jays ball.
You know, both teams turning the ball over at a high rate. You have to assume that the turnover bug is going to affect this game in the last 350.
Timeout's going to be taken by St. Mary's, and we're going to stay right here for right now. So this whole game, there's been so many different things going on for both teams, whether it's turnovers, rebounds. What is the most crucial thing on both sides of the ball that Tabor needs to work on, because they did have the lead at one point. Now they're losing by 4 here late in the second half.
Well, it's going to be turnovers on both sides of the ball. You see the Blue Jays forcing a turnover right there. They need to continue doing that on the defensive end. And on the offensive end, they really need to limit their turnovers. They need to get clean shots. And really, I think if you let Tyler Zinn control the rock here on out, that should eliminate any of that. He's been making solid passes all game. He only has 2 points here in the second half. But again, turnovers on both sides. Blue Jays need to force them, and they need to limit them.
Yeah, I mean, the offense of Tabor, it's there. You know, they have the offense. Zinn is such a crucial player there for the Blue Jays. It's just their offense needs to be slowed down. They need to start doing what they were doing at the beginning of the first half. You know, they had it going early, but everything's just kind of gotten sloppy here late. And I think if they just calm down and start playing basketball like they were, I think this game could be a lot different right now.
And as you pointed out again throughout the broadcast, they need to stay. They've been rebounding the ball well the entire game. They need to continue doing that. You don't want to give up an offensive rebound in the last 4 minutes, because that would just be a backbreaker after you work the entire possession to get a stop.
This is going to be Zinn bringing it up. It's going to be man-to-man defense from St. Mary's. Good look inside to Baez, and another turnover for the Blue Jays. Are you keeping track of what turnover that was yet?
That's going to be turnover number 24.
24 for the Blue Jays. Rucker pass to Howard.
And you have to expect that the Spires are going to want to milk this clock down each possession they have the ball.
And a three from the corner for Mackey. No good. Rebound to Tyler Zinn. As like you said, yeah, they're gonna want to try to milk that clock a little bit, because they want to keep this lead as much as possible and not give Tabor the ball.
Oh, And Tyler Zinn had his layup go in and out, got the offensive board. You can see how tired he is.
Yeah, he's been in most of this game. He's only had a few couple breaks as he's going to go to the free throw line, it looks like.
He's averaging 34 minutes a game. He got a lot of miles put on him this year.
Jalen Rucker for St. Mary's is going to be fouled out of the ball game.
And that is huge because Rucker had been doing a really good job guarding Zinn all game long, especially after he scored the quick 10 in the first half. Rucker was the main reason why he's only been held to 2 here in the second half.
Yeah, I think Rucker's probably one of the more quicker guys on that St. Mary's team that can handle Zinn. I mean, the height is a little bit different, but you know, if you're quick and stay with him, that can always help. So of course, here comes Zinn, 76% for the season on free throws. Zinn's first free throw up and good. Cuts the deficit now down to 3.
And again, as you pointed out, Rucker definitely their quickest player on their team. So it's going to be interesting who guards him. Jesse Moss comes into the game. He hit a 3 earlier this half. So it's going to be interesting if they put McCullough on him, who has some length, or maybe Mackey, who might have a little bit more quickness than the other guards for the Spiders.
So Mackey's going to be bringing it up. Full court defense from Worth. Now off to Howard. Now get it off to Moss. Now inside Howard. Howard's posting up. He's going to take it up. He fouled and gets the bucket. And that's going to bring their lead to 4, possibly 5 with a free throw pending.
Was flexing after that one at the Blue Jay bench. A really strong move by Howard, their leading scorer. And he hits a huge shot right there.
Christian Carmichael and Dallas Taylor coming into the game for the Spires.
Howard, a 72% free throw shooter on the season.
First one up and good. Or last one, I mean, and one opportunity. So Zinn's going to bring it up for the Blue Jays.
Dallas Taylor draws the assignment now with Rucker out.
Whitlock has it near side. Elias Worth, top of the key. He slips, but no travel call.
Blue Jays fortunate that wasn't called a travel.
Zinn's trying to get it inside, and here it is now to Baez. Now out to Worth. Worth's going to drive in. Good kick to Baez. Can't finish it. And the rebound's going to go to the Spires as they got to start connecting on those, especially when they get those offensive rebounds. It's happened all game. They need to connect on those going back up opportunities.
Yeah, those second chance opportunities have really eluded them. A great defensive play right there by Elias Worth. Not the shot the Blue Jays wanted right there, though. And Duncan Whitlock with the presence of mind to call that timeout as he was falling out of bounds. But again, not the shot. You get to the steal by Elias Worth. You really want to get the ball into Tyler Zinn, and Luis Baez in transition shooting an off-balance jumper is not what you want. But the Blue Jays fortunately have the ball, down 5, 1:46 left.
Yeah, I think Tabor's finally. You got to give credit to Elias Worth. I mean, he's locking up at the half-court line. You know, he just got that steal, and like you said, they didn't get the shot they wanted. But if they can start executing those going up again after the offensive rebounds and even fast breaks opportunities, this score could be so much different right now.
And Elias Worth has seen his minutes increase as the season has progresses. And again, he just brings that defense off the bench. It brings a lot of energy, and he just would like to see his offense also progress the way his defense has. He's one of the better on-ball defenders on this Blue Jay team.
Let's go, D, come on.
Minute 46 left in the game. It's going to be Tabor's ball with Zinn. Zinn's making moves. He's going to look inside to Baez. Baez is going to get rejected by McCullough down underneath. And the Spires are just going to slow down the offense, try to milk the clock as much as they can. As Howard, good look inside. And a dunk by Brad Haley. As that's going to be a 30-second timeout. We're going to take a timeout with them. 58-51, Spires on top. We'll be back after this.
Think about how good it feels when people really get you. Like the friends who come over when a big game is on, the neighbors next door who always bring your favorite buffalo dip, your in-laws who know you need silence during the clutch plays, and everyone who knows about your special post-win fist bump. It's kind of like having a State Farm agent like Paul Brooks. Paul is here to get to know you and understand your life, so he can help make it easy for you to protect what's important. Get an agent that gets you and your fist bumps. Call State Farm agent Paul Brooks in Wichita at 316-721-8181.
All right, back here in Hillsboro, minute 22 left in the game. Spires have the lead by 7, 58-51. As the Spires are going to bring half-court pressure. Zinn's going to be bringing it up.
Blue Jays really need instant offense here.
What a look. No-look pass inside to Baez. Cuts the lead to the Spires down to 5.
Blue Jays have 2 fouls to give, so they can play really aggressive going for the steal here.
Left him wide open underneath, as that is going to be Haley. And that's going to cut the lead back to 7. Zinn's going to take it, drive it in all the way, and get clobbered underneath, as I believe he is going to go to the line. That is 10 fouls now on the Spires, as the foul is going to be on Dallas Taylor.
It's going to be really important here now, under a minute, that the Blue Jays score points, and no better way than with the clock stopped at the free throw line.
Zinn's first free throw good.
And again, the Blue Jays have a couple of fouls to give, so they can use that full court press to try to force a turnover.
Second free throw good as well, 2 for 2. So this is going to be Jesse Moss. Gives it off to Mackey, and a kick ball from Stewart. It is going to stop the clock. 46 seconds left in the ball game here, down by 5.
And that backcourt clock does not restart. They only have 4 seconds to get the ball past half court.
And they're going to pass it into Howard to the corner. Now inside, and he gets I couldn't quite see what happened, but I saw the Tabor crowd, and it looked like it was.
And they're going to call a foul on Duncan Whitlock, who met Haley up high. They said he got him on the wrist. You'll see it right here on the replay, and he swiped him right there on the wrist.
Brad Haley at the line.
Haley is a 66% free throw shooter on the season.
First one up and good, and 66% is not bad for a big man.
No, it's especially as a team. St. Mary's shoots it at 65%, so he's one of their better free throw shooters.
42 on the clock, second free throw up and good. And now a sub's coming in, as that is going to be Cameron Southern coming back into the ball game, checking out Haley.
Coach Brown going a little offense for defense here.
So Zinn's going to have it, bringing the ball up for the Blue Jays. He's going to pull a long 3, and it's going to come up short. Rebound to McCullough, and they're going to look in, and they're just going to try to run off the clock, but Elias Wirt's going to foul. Or excuse me. It's going to be on Whitlock, as they're just going to foul to stop the clock, send it to the free throw line.
Well, they still have a foul to give, so.
Yeah. I think St. Mary's wanted to go to the free throw line, but.
Yeah, both teams are lining up for 1-and-1.
So Howard's going to inbound it on the far side. Howard pass in to Carmichael. He's going to get fouled as well to stop the clock. So that is going to bring Carmichael to the free throw line. That is their 7th foul for a 1-and-1.
Carmichael shoots it at a 68% clip from the line.
That's only Noah Brown's first personal as well. First free throw, the 1-and-1 is up and good. .26 on the clock. Second free throw up and good as well. Nothing but net.
St. Mary's has really shot the free throw well this game.
St. Mary's putting a lot of pressure on Tyler Zinn, even on the backcourt. And Tyler Zinn's going to drive in, kick out to the corner. Elias Worth for 3. It's going to be tipped, I believe, and rebound to the Spires, as this is going to be Carmichael. And Carmichael's just going to courtesy hold the ball for the end of the game. And the final score is going to be 64-55. St. Mary's coming up top. Tabor staying winless in the KCAC. And I believe here in a little bit we'll be back with some final stats, and we'll talk over the rest of the game right after this.
Sooner or later, you might need some extra storage space. When that day comes, Fleming's Mini Store All is ready and waiting. Fleming's Mini Store All has 5 locations and has been serving the Hillsborough and Marion area since 1990. They've got a variety of storage size options and can even handle boats and RVs. To learn more, just visit FlemingsMiniStoreAll.com or give them a call at 620-382-5550. Fleming's Mini Store All, the solution for your storage problems.
And we're back here in Hillsborough. The first victory inside a conference eludes the Blue Jays as they fall by a final score of 64-55. We have a couple of statistics that we want to throw your way.
Raylan Howard for St. Mary's scored 19. He averaged 16 on the year, so he had 3 more than his average. Tyler Zinn had it was a good night. 16 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. You know, it was way low below his average of, points per game. Tabor did out rebound St. Mary's 38-28. And of course, the one thing that killed both teams really, but Tabor more than St. Mary's, was the turnover factor. 31 turnovers in a 40-minute game. As that averages out to a little less than 1 turnover a minute, which, I mean, that's, if you think about it, that's awfully crazy.
It's pretty mind-boggling. The Blue Jays have struggled with the turnover all season long. And it really, that was their biggest factor in the second half. They had the lead most of the first half, regained the lead a little bit in the second half, and just unfortunately were not able to come back and win the game. Good game by St. Mary's, getting back to 500 inside of conference play. We'll be back here Saturday night. Blue Jays host McPherson. That game tips off at 7. So make sure to tune in Saturday at 7. And that's it here from Hillsborough.